So tell me about this this interesting piece of work. And you say your book's theme is about next 5,000 years from where you look at it. And there are obvious problems with the challenges that you mentioned. So if I have to ask you about the five biggest challenges that we have today, within the Sanatan Dharma and the understanding of humanity when it comes to spirituality, what would be your five top challenges?
Five top. Okay, so I wouldn't put them as one, two,
That's
three, four,
fine.
five.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just saying. The first thing I would say, understanding the importance of time. And there is a chapter which is dedicated to this. Time is plenty. So time is not plenty. So that's
Yeah, that's the truth. It's like I was going to say, like
Yeah.
you saying like it's not plenty. It's like about to go away. So
It-
what
I-
time
I-
is this? Is it the Kal or is it the human definition of time?
This life,
Okay.
the way things are moving for our culture, for our religion, we don't have much time left to experiment things. So we have to do some concrete. We have to take some concrete steps with actionable, and with this thing in mind that we need to get some results out of it. So rather than indulging just in intellectual pursuits, there has to be something, some
Practical,
action that practical. So time is something very important, and we need to, as a culture, we just need to be on time. And there are instances like being joining a team meeting, or making your friend wait at the bus stop, or saying that, oh, I'm just coming when you're I'll be reaching in 10 minutes, and you are just getting out of your bed. So all these things add. As a culture, we have to develop ourselves in a way that we become the example that how do you follow time. 9 means 9. So that
would be a tough one to follow for Indians, especially in India. But we can try.
That's why I have written this. Like, this is important. People usually don't talk about it.
No, they don't.
So
it's like it's taken for granted. It's like, oh, you're at the coffee house and you're waiting, and then everyone's running late. But I guess it's changing, especially with our generation. Maybe it's changing, so we can look at it positively. What's the next one?
Yeah. So after time, I would say harnessing the power of technology, understanding how technology can help you in realizing your goals. And there are multiple dimensions to it. So for example, I wouldn't say, so there are examples in the book which I have shared, that when it comes to purchasing softwares, whether legally or crack version, whether it's about reading book which you have purchased or you have just downloaded, whether it's about watching movies, paying tickets, or downloading it from some site, that things need to change. That till the time we
is it, sorry to interrupt, is it also hinting at being honest then? So this is also the idea of like honesty comes in as a bigger factor to this, because a lot of okay, that's interesting. Go on, sorry to interrupt.
And when honesty comes in, there comes in the concept of merit. That how do you create new, and that's where technology comes into picture. That how do you invest in technology? And I've given n number of examples that how these days, how exactly the social media is changing, the world is changing, your views are being modified. You're not able to express your views. So you cannot just go ahead and complain that, hey, that guy just pulled my comment down, or I was banned from that platform. Dude, go ahead, build your own one. And if you haven't been able to build one so far, there is something to think about it. So get your act together, get on the drawing board, and think, why weren't you able to create a unicorn at this point, which is very much Hindu in nature? Like, have your own definition. I'm not saying that each unicorn has to follow one template. But again, if we are looking towards that revolution, if we are looking towards that dream, so technology is very important. We got to have our own platforms in every sense, be it a browser, be it a mailing solution, be it a data center, be it a social media platform. How do you harness the power of data? How do you do all these cutting edge things that are being done? So that's the second thing that I would say that's very much important. And all these people who are at the helm of affairs, with they should take this into consideration, that like how exactly to do this. And then there are bright people who are out there who are working somewhere else, far from their motherland, giving all their resources, giving all their knowledge to someone else. Use that. So yeah, that's the second thing that I would
that
say.
Speaks to my soul. I'm in a foreign land doing like data work. And I know Nitin actually said that to me. He said, you should come back. And I'm like, yeah, I should actually feel guilty. But
Same
yeah,
here.
go on.
Yeah. So that's what. And when you start thinking on it, you would also start thinking on those aspects, that what would make people like you and me come back. What is it that we would get? So it's very easy. So people usually say that, and again, this is my third point, embrace Hindus who are outside. So my second chapter is cultural remittances of an immigrant Hindu. That it's not only dollars and pound that we send back, it's also the cultural remittance that we send back. Embrace them, utilize them. Think of them as your extended family, or rather your family who are in a foreign land. Don't discard them. Don't just put one template that, oh, they're there for money and they're there for. Think why did they go? Why did they migrate? Create those environment, create those like I would say, lay that foundation that people can come back. It's easy. People say that, oh, I want to come back, but it's not easy for everyone.
No.
Like for few, passion might be above everything, that, oh, I just want to go back. But for others, there might be some practical challenges.
No, rightly so. And also, like, having that kind of inclusivity is quite important, because most of the time what you hear, even being a Hindu or even being an individual living out, it's pretty much like, oh, you must be earning quite a lot, whereas probably you're not, and it's like you have your own shares of struggle, but it's always that money that drives. And it's like, do you not think of me as an individual, that I matter to my land? So it does bother me, but yeah, that's an interesting one. So what's next?
So fourth, I would say we can put on hold for a while all these okay, so before holding, I would say recognition and rewards and recognition, praising for the minutest efforts. So, and one example that we have to stop being scholar for a while, and we have to think more. The point which I'm trying to make is value your heroes. Don't think that your heroes have to follow a particular template. And again, this is so this particular point is spread across multiple chapters, where I have also given an example of Sadhguru, that he has done so much and he's doing so much, and still he is pulled into all these controversies, not from other people, from our own folks.
Yes. But he's popularized. I mean, there are lots of people whose life has changed after listening to what Sadhguru has to say. And that is a positive change, regardless of, the authenticity. Let's not even talk about the authenticity or, criticize his examples as such, but just the impact that his words have had on individuals. And that is marvelous.
Even on authenticity, like, I wouldn't say that he's saying something that is erroneous if you listen to it. And that's where so if I get that liberty, probably I would say that that's where I get to see the difference, that when you become a person who is just concerned with the letters on the surface. So so if you remember, there was this controversy that happened with Sadhguru some time back. So there was a very interesting comment, and again, I have documented it. So someone said, someone from our very own faction, that Sadhguru is making life easier. So the comment was in Hindi, so please forgive me for not the exact translation, but I'm just trying my best to translate the mood. So he said, Sadhguru is making things easier for people by giving them the essence of our whole religion and everything, which was founded on the foundations of long penance. So in this way, he is killing, like, he is giving an easy meal to people.
Okay.
And I was like, and That's what a saint, a sage has to do.
Yes, you have to make
The
it easy for
learning,
people.
make it easy for people. That's exactly what he's trying to do. And then that's how I treat, that's why I treat him as a sage or a saint. Fine, you read all the complexities, keep all your literature, I'm fine with that, but keep it to yourself or keep it to your ilk. People, you can always have that intellectual discussion and debates and discussion amongst yourself, but when you're going to the common masses, you have to convey your teachings in a way which is understandable, which can be understood by them.
No, I completely agree with you, because there's no point in being so intellectual to a person who struggles to get, a decent meal a day.
Exactly. Like empty stomach can never win wars.
No. And they won't even, for them, it's more like getting the ends, meeting the ends of a day, rather to talk of a week or a year or whatever, and keep things going. Now, they kind of do not want to listen about what is written in the Shastras, because it doesn't matter to them. Because reading that is not going to get them the bread. So it's pretty much something that they can do, something that they can learn from, and that can have an impact. Because when that impact happens, I believe their confidence goes up, and that is when they will indulge in it. So it's quite interesting.
So yeah, that's the one. And I guess I have already spoken about that story thing, that how do we need to market. So I'll just add, instead of that, the last thing is stop creation of different buckets and terminologies. So there is one
very
chapter.
Important. Very, very important.
Yeah. So there is a chapter that's called 25 Carat Hindus.
Yeah.
That if we want a Hindu, that Hindu has to be a 24 karat gold. And I've started my chapter with this notion that what I learned in school, that 24 karat gold is not suitable for use. It's malleable. You cannot put it to use, make jewelry or anything out of it. To make it to bring it into usage, you have to add some impurity into it, make it 22 karat. That's how
true.
then.
That's true.
So that's the point from where I have started this chapter, that if your understanding of a Hindu is a 24 karat Hindu who is absolutely as per scriptures and exact textbook style, you're going to ruin things. And what that has done in this times, that we have created so many denominations and acronyms, and it's increasing in this social media world. I have given, like, you call that, oh, he's spiritual but he's not religious. He is like he understands he's religious but he's not that. And then I have given at least like 10 or 12 such categorizations. And then there is this thing as Raita, calling Raita wing, if I have heard. I don't know if you have heard of that.
No, I've heard it.
Yeah, Raita Hindu is someone who thinks in secularism, and who thinks of that every religion is equal and all those. Then there is a word called Pajama Hindus.
Okay, never
Pajama
heard that.
Hindu is, trust me, it's there. It's floating on the social media. Pajama Hindu is someone who modifies his or her belief depending on the comfort level, his or her comfort level. So my point is, if you're using such categorizations because of your so-called, intellectual
understanding
capacity or understanding of things, then probably you're not putting your knowledge to a good use.
Clearly
you're taking it in a complete direction. And what you are doing, you're creating future enemies for yourself. I wouldn't want to get branded. Like, what you should be concerned about is if I do have my allegiance with the overall Hindu culture. I pray to my God. I respect my God. I cannot hear anything bad about them. I take my culture very seriously. I celebrate my festivals in whatever capacity I can. You should accept that. You should reward that. You should recognize that, instead of creating these buckets. And trust me, this is a point where I think 99% of the scholars in this time probably wouldn't find it appealing or wouldn't agree to it, based on my experience. In case if through your video, if they come to know of this, fine. But I would be very interested to see something coming up which calls for complete, I would say, ban. If ban, no, I'm not a supporter of ban, but probably a complete re-understanding of all these things, that how you treat your a fellow Hindu by bracketing them in certain brackets just because you were intelligent or scholar enough. So like you throw around these words for what reason?
Don't know. I can't even say instant gratification. It's like, I don't know, a kind of a superiority. You get some sort of a kick out of it. It's egoistic. I think it's very
holier than thou.
Yeah.
Holier than thou.
Yeah.
My Hinduism is better than yours, and this is exactly that we have been doing since ages. That we have been losing battles again and again since 800 years. So I would quote Nietzsche. So Nietzsche said a very important thing, that every free man is a warrior. So till the time you don't give that sense of belongingness to a Hindu, you cannot expect that Hindu to fight for your cause. You alienate them, you ridicule them, and then you expect them to carry the baton. That's not going to happen. Come on, we are living in 21st century. Let's be practical.